my name's Liz, I'm the baker that sews. Welcome to my channel if you're new and welcome back if you are a subscriber. As always, it's really lovely to have you here as I share my sewing journey. So welcome back to my channel. Today is my Sunday sewing catch up and we're on episode 35. So I've got a mixture of things to talk to you about. I've got lots of things that I've been busy sewing. I've got one piece of fabric, I've got a pattern to talk to you about, and I'm updating you on something very exciting too that I've been sewing up this weekend, and I'm hoping, fingers crossed, I can get it finished today. I've been chipping away at it after procrastinating and putting off cutting the fabric out and getting started on this project, and it's something that I've talked about loads on my videos too, so I'm really excited about sharing that with you. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll probably have guessed what that project is, but more on that a little bit later. So before I dive into all the things I wanted to share with you today, I'll let you know what I'm wearing. I think I've shared this t-shirt and the I've definitely shared the trousers lots over the last couple of weeks. I've been wearing them so much because the weather's still a little bit chilly. We had 1 week of gorgeous sunshine and it's gone back to being like winter. We've had snow this week. So I've been wearing my jeans absolutely loads. And I'm definitely going to make another pair because they're so comfortable. I want to make a couple of pairs of jeans, and I've got a couple of pieces of denim in my stash, and I'm also looking for some light blue, like washed denim, to make some too. The t-shirt is the Tilly and the Buttons Tabitha t-shirt, and I made it in a size up. It has meant that the neckband is slightly bigger, but I wanted quite an oversized look. Not a super baggy look, just a little bit oversized so that I could tuck it in and have it just a little bit baggy. So that's what I've done with that. This loop back sweatshirting is from Hey Sew Sister, and I think they've still got some of this in stock, so if they have, I'll link it down below. And then I've just got it on with my I Am Sunshine jeans in this gorgeous rust coloured corduroy, and I've just popped a belt on with it today. Got the t-shirt tucked in, but I just wanted it to be a little bit baggy and a little bit loose. And then if I stand up, you'll be able to see the shape of the jeans. I absolutely love them. They're super comfortable. Pockets on the back, and I went for the balloon leg. It's going to be tricky to show you, but they're just slightly relaxed fit. I took my youngest daughter to the hairdresser this morning, and I'm going back this afternoon with my eldest. So I wanted something that was really comfortable whilst keeping me warm and cozy as well. So that's why I've got my jeans on with my t-shirt. So that's what I'm wearing, and if I can get a photo, I'll pop a photo in of what I look like. Otherwise, I'll put a picture in of the t-shirt and the jeans separately, just so you can see what they look like on me too. So what have I been sewing? I have finished my Bakerloo blouse, which I talked about last Sunday. So this was for the Sew Recreate the Look challenge, which I know has finished, and I wasn't going to get it finished in time. I think partly because I was obviously busy working, but I set myself the challenge of sewing up 3 garments for my Recreate the Look sort of end project. I wanted to sew up some dungarees, a blouse, and then I also wanted to sew up like a jacket, an oversized jacket. So I've managed to finish the Bakerloo blouse. It's just in a white cotton, so I'll just grab that. And if you're not familiar with the pattern, I've got it here. So it's a Nina Lee pattern. You can either sew up the dress or you can sew up the blouse, and I went for the blouse. I wasn't sure whether to sew up the Nina Lee Bakerloo blouse or the Byhan London Marie blouse, and I definitely still want to sew up that shirt pattern. It's beautiful, but I went for this one in the end because it's a pattern that I've used loads and loads. I knew it would fit me. The collar is slightly more oversized than the sort of inspiration look, but it works really nicely with dungarees. I'll put pictures in of the whole look, and I'll also put pictures in of the image that I saw that inspired this look. So I wanted to sew up some floral dungarees, which I shared last weekend, in like a brushed floral cotton fabric that I got from Abercorn Fabrics. And I used the Helen's Closet Yanta overalls because it's my favourite dungaree pattern, fits me really nicely, and it's super duper comfortable. And then I wanted to sew up just a white shirt to go underneath the dungarees. And then I've also used another pattern to sew up like an oversized jacket type shacket thing. So I'll show that in a second. So I used the blouse pattern, and here it is, a little bit creased because it's just been laid on the back of my chair in my sewing space. But here it is, and I think this is going to go with so many things because it's just a white blouse. I absolutely love that oversized collar with the frill. I think that's absolutely beautiful. I just went with a plain white button on the back because I just wanted to keep it a classic white shirt. So that's what it looks like there. And then my favourite part of this pattern is those gorgeous cuffs on the end. So there we go. So I'm really pleased with how this has turned out, and I think it goes really nicely with my Yanta overalls, but I also think this would go really nicely tucked into like the jeans that I'm wearing, and I've got some other trousers that would go really nicely with too. So that was the first thing I managed to get finished. I'd sewn most of it. I can't remember what I needed to do. I think I needed to hem it. I think I might have needed to do insert the sleeves and do the cuff, and then sew on the button. So I didn't have and I needed to finish the neckline as well, I remember that. So I didn't have too much that I needed to finish with this. So I'm really pleased I got that finished. And then I just used the same fabric to do the bias binding here. So that's the shirt. And then the other thing to create the look that I was going for was I was sewing up an Ilford jacket in some rust coloured corduroy fabric that I got from Rainbow Fabrics. And I hadn't even cut that out. So I managed to get that cut out and sewn up in little pieces across the week. So I'll just grab that to show you as well. And I'll grab the pattern. So this is the pattern. So it's the Friday Pattern Company Ilford jacket, and I was going to sew up this version. You can sew up a longer version, but I wanted to do the one that stops just sort of beyond my waist to go with the overall look. And then here is the finished garment. Now I've chosen not to add buttons. I can't decide whether to add buttons or not because I will never wear it as a button-up shirt. I'm always going to just wear it as an extra layering piece over the top. I'll pop it on so you can see what it looks like. But I didn't interface the collar either deliberately because I wanted it to be quite a relaxed look. So that's what it looks like on. And then I've just added some patch pockets on either side. And then I'll just wear it open. I don't think it really goes with what I'm wearing because of the colour of the jeans. But that is what I wanted. I just wanted a really relaxed, oversized, sort of open shirt / jacket. So I don't think I will put buttons on. Let me know down below if you think I need buttons just down the front, because at the moment it's just like that and it's open. But I'm really pleased with how this has turned out as well, and I think it's going to go really nicely with the blouse and also with the dungarees on underneath as well. And I will get photos of the complete look so I can show you what it looks like, and I'll put them in now. The Ilford jacket sews up really nicely. It's not fiddly at all. The instructions really hold your hand every step of the way. And if you were thinking about sewing your first shirt, I would definitely say this is, you know, the perfect pattern if you haven't sewn something like that before. Friday Pattern Company instructions really hold your hand, and it comes together really nicely. There's no fiddly bits of it either. And because it's quite a boxy, relaxed fit, and you can do either a sleeve that's got a placket, or you can just do a really straightforward sleeve like I've done. So there's no placket on the end at all. So it makes it a really straightforward sew. So I definitely recommend the Ilford jacket if you haven't sewn it up yet. I've sewn up two now. I've done one in a quilting fabric, and then I've got this one, which I think is going to go with quite a lot of things in my wardrobe. And I think also it will add a really lovely layer for days like today where the sun is actually shining, but it's still a little bit chilly. So I'm really pleased that I managed to get all of my garments finished. Too late to enter the Sew Recreate the Look challenge, but it was really fun taking a photo for inspiration and then looking at the patterns that I already had and turning them into garments that go together. So those were the first few things that I wanted to share. And then there was another challenge that I wanted to take part in, and I wasn't sure if I was going to get my garments finished for that challenge either. And again, I chose two patterns that I wanted to sew up to put together. And I've talked about these in my So Frugal frocks. I keep saying So Frugal frocks. And I talked about these patterns in my So Frugal 22 vlog. I'll link down below if you haven't seen it. And then I also talked about them last weekend. So the first one was they're both free patterns, and I'll link them down below. The first one was the peppermint wrap top. And I had this gorgeous rust coloured, again, lots of my things are rust coloured at the moment, a rust coloured washed cotton fabric that had like scribbled hearts on it. I'd cut out the pattern, but I hadn't actually started sewing it up. And I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to finish in time to enter the challenge, but I managed to sew up both garments the night before, which shows how straightforward both patterns are, and then I was able to enter. So I was really pleased with that. I had to just share a sort of a flat lay photo of the top on the deadline day because I wasn't able to get photos of me wearing both garments, but then the next day I was able to share photos of the garments. So first one is it's going to be tricky to hold it up because it's got such a long sort of tie at the front. It looks a really funny shape. But I did go for the peppermint wrap top using this gorgeous rust fabric that's got all these scribbled hearts all over it. And it's a wrap top, and then you've got these super long ties at the front of the top on both sides. And it's really lovely. I've worn it to work already. So this was just a washed cotton fabric that I got from Hey So Sister. They don't have any of it in stock anymore. And I've got the pattern here to show you. So this is the pattern, just in case you haven't seen it. It's a free pattern by Peppermint Magazine, and it's called the Wrap Top. And it's aimed at sort of beginners, and it's quite a straightforward pattern to put together. It wasn't fiddly at all. Just the pattern pieces are enormous. And I sewed it up using that beautiful washed cotton, and it goes really nicely. I really love the shape of wrap tops at the moment. I think I've felt inspired by the pearl cardigan, which is a wrap cardigan. I think it's a shape that really suits me, and it goes really nicely with a lot of high-waisted things that I've got in my wardrobe. So that was the pattern that I used, and I'm really pleased that I got that finished, and I will put pictures in of me wearing both of these garments. And then the second thing that I sewed up that I wanted to go with this top was a, I think it's a viscose linen fabric. I got it ages ago, so I can't remember the composition like 100%. And I tried to look back through my emails, but I couldn't find the email from the company because I can't really remember the company. But it was using this, it feels like it's more than just a linen, and it doesn't crease as much as a linen, so I think there's some viscose in there. But it's a plain fabric. When I was sewing it up, I thought it was black, and it's coming up a little bit black on the camera, but I think it's just the lighting in here. It's actually when I wore it and got photos taken that I realised it was navy blue, or like an indigo blue. I don't know if you can see when it's a bit closer. It's actually an indigo blue. And originally I thought it was black, and I wanted to match it to the black in this top. But actually with the photos, I think it goes nicely as an indigo blue anyway. I think they go really nicely together, and you'll be able to see on the pictures that I share that they go really nicely. Now what I decided to do for this skirt, I used the free pattern by the Little Pomegranate, which is the Sabina skirt, and I've got it here. So that's the Sabina skirt, and the pattern actually comes with, if I show you the line drawing at the back, it's a really lovely, quite straightforward skirt to put together. It's got an elasticated waistband, and then you've got these slanted pockets, and then there's a ruffle on the bottom. What I actually ended up doing, because I didn't have enough fabric to include the pockets, was I omitted the pockets, and instead of using the front skirt pattern piece, I just cut two of the back pattern piece, because obviously you don't have the pockets at the back. And then I just sewed them up by attaching them at the side seams, added the ruffle and added the waistband as per instructions, just omitting the pockets, which meant it came together a lot quicker than it would have done if I'd have put the pockets in, because you French seam the pockets. So here it is, really straightforward skirt. It's got ruffle on the bottom, elasticated waist, super duper comfortable, and the two garments went really nicely together. So I'm really pleased that I was able to get both of those garments finished and entered into the So Frugal 22 challenge just in the nick of time, which I was really excited about, and I'm really pleased that they both go really nicely together. But I've also got lots of things in my wardrobe that I'll be able to wear with the skirt, and also I'll be able to wear the top with as well. So the last thing, those were all the completed garments that I've managed to sew up this week. The last thing I wanted to share is something that I'm really excited about, and I'm really hoping that I can get this finished today, because we're actually going away for a couple of days next week, and I'd love to be able to take it away with me. If I hold it up, you'll be able to see. I've been talking about this fabric for absolutely ages. It's my quilted fabric that I got from Fabric Godmother. I absolutely love it. It's an iridescent, like rainbow print fabric. And I have finally started sewing up the bomber jacket that I've been talking about. I've been planning this for months, absolutely ages. And I've ummed and ahed about what patterns to go for. I had a couple of patterns, well, I had loads of pattern suggestions, and then I bought a couple of patterns, but right at the last minute, I changed my mind and I went with a pattern that I've had in my pattern stash all along, which I'm going to talk about in a second. I'll pop it on so you can see how far I've got with sewing it up. I've almost finished. I just need to attach the collar. I need to attach the hemband. I've got one cuff in place. I need to attach the other cuff. And then I also need to do the facing on the back of it. So on the inside, I've got the facing for where the zip is, but I need to do the facing along here. But I'll pop it on so you can see what it looks like. So I've got the zip in, which I'm really pleased about. You can see the facing at the front is just flapping about at the moment, but it makes the inside super duper pretty. I went for a mint green zip. I'll zip it all the way up so you can see, and I really love the colour of that zip. And then I've got the pockets on the front here. They're not attached at the moment because I need the hemband on the bottom. And then I've got the zip facing here, and you can see the pocket there as well. They're not attached at the bottom yet, but they are top stitched all the way along. I'm really pleased with how I've managed to line up the front pieces. So the rainbow sort of fabric goes in a lovely neat line all the way along, and then it's the same on the back. I'm really pleased with how I've lined the back up as well, and I'll take it off in a second so you can see. And then I've gone for the teal cuffing on that side. I haven't attached it on this side yet, and then I've got the collar that I need to attach here, and I think I'm going to go for the same sort of ribbing. And then I also need to attach it, the facing keeps popping up, I need to attach it on the bottom here as well. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm just going to let this go because it was more important that the zip was lined up. But you can probably see that there's a slight difference in where the facing starts on each side. I'm being really picky here because it's literally probably a centimetre out or half a centimetre out. I don't know if you can see that. But I was more interested in making sure that the zip was lined up. So I'm going to just let that go. I need to just enjoy the process of sewing this up. I'm being quite fussy. I did unpick it and reattach it, and that was as close as I could get it without making the zip go off. So I'm really pleased that I've managed to start sewing this up. I'll talk to you about the pattern in a second, but the pattern actually asks you to cut the back pattern piece for the jacket as two separate pieces, and then you attach them and you've got this line going down the back. Similar kind of to the front in that I wanted to make sure that the fabric lined up, so I didn't want it to be sort of too higgledy-piggledy, and I'm really pleased that I've managed to get that on the front so you can see both sides, they match up. And then on the back I wanted to make sure that I could do the same on the back, and I'm really pleased with how it's lined up. You can see that it just goes straight across, which is great, so I'm really pleased with that as well. I think this is going to be so snuggly and warm to wear. I'm really excited about getting it finished. And then I've just got the pockets on the front as well there. This fabric is absolutely gorgeous. I don't know if they've got any still in stock, but if they have, I'll link it down below for you. I'm really enjoying the process of sewing this up. It's funny, I traced the pattern yesterday and then lay the pattern pieces on top of the fabric, and I've been so scared to cut this fabric out. Just because in my head I've got a really clear idea of what I want the bomber jacket to look like. So I laid all the pattern pieces on top of the fabric, and then I just sat staring at it for about half an hour, willing myself to actually cut the pattern pieces out and get sewing. So it was quite late last night that I started the actual process of sewing this jacket up. And then I've sewn a little bit this morning, and I'm hoping I'll get some time later on this evening just to add those final little bits, because I've only got a few little steps left. So I'm really keen to get this finished, but I'm really enjoying the process. So the pattern that I ended up going for the bomber jacket was actually from the Great British Sewing Bee Sustainable Style book that I've had for a while. And I've sewn something out of this, but I didn't have much success with it. And actually when I looked on Instagram and just on, I just did a Google search to see if anyone's blogged about the book, I didn't find very many reviews of the book. But the thing that I tried to sew up out of here was like a romper. I'll see if I can find the pattern so I can show you. And it just came up too big, and I ended up not really being able to salvage it. So I didn't obviously keep it, and I didn't persevere with the pattern. It was like a romper, cami top and shorts with an elasticated waist sort of channel. Here it is, if I show you. So then I just put the book away because I didn't have much success with what I wanted to sew. I tried to sew this and it just came up far too big. It just didn't look great on me. I should have trialed it and I didn't. So I ended up binning the project. I couldn't salvage it at all. And then I must have seen like a blog, or I don't know, something made me get this book off my shelf. It's normally just kept up there. And I had to flick through to see if any of the books that I've got had bomber jackets in, because I had a very clear idea in my head of what I wanted it to look like. I wanted it to look like this. And I'd bought lots of different patterns that everybody had suggested, so thank you to everybody for suggestions. And I was sort of 85% sure I was going to go with the cozy jacket, but for some reason I got this book off the shelf and found this pattern, and actually this is exactly what I've had in my head. So I've actually ended up starting to sew this up. It comes in 2 different variations, so you can do a bomber jacket like this, so it's a slightly longer length, or you can do a cropped version. It is described as a classic that has stood the test of time. This jacket is a wardrobe staple for wearers of all ages. It's the type of jacket that bridges seasons and crosses the line between indoor and outdoor wear. You can make it as fun or as classic as you like through your choice of fabric. Choose a bold, floral or a geometric print for a fashion statement, or a solid colour for a more versatile look. We used a polyester shell, which is an ideal fabric for a classic bomber jacket, but you can mix it up by using fabric scraps for different elements of the jacket. I knew that I wanted this type of collar. I knew that I wanted sort of ribbing on the bottom, and I knew that I wanted the same for the cuffs, and I wanted quite deep pockets. I wanted it to be quite a relaxed look, and that's what this looks like. This I knew would be too long on me because I traced the pattern and held up the pattern pieces on me, and it just came far too long for what I wanted it to be. But then I traced off the full length, and then there's a line for the cropped bomber, which is a variation on this. You can do the cropped version if you want to, but the cropped version was too short on me. So I used the mint green zipper that I'd already bought, and I'd bought that thinking that I was going to use it for the cozy jacket. So it's a 22-inch zipper. So I played around with the length of the zip, looked at the pattern pieces, because it's got a zipper facing. I don't know if you can see that there. Might be better to show you on the line drawings, but there's a zipper facing. So I needed to make sure, you can see there's a zipper facing here before you get the ribbing on the waistband. So I needed to make sure that, including the zipper facing, the zip would be the right length and the pattern pieces would be the right lengths to incorporate that. So I had to do a little bit of sort of measurements and tweaking the pattern, and I've managed to shorten the longer length bomber jacket pattern pieces to incorporate the 22-inch zip that I've got. If I can work out, I think I might have not lengthened it, I think I might have shortened the pattern piece by about 3 inches. I'll go back to my original pattern pieces and see what I ended up doing, and I'll write it down in the description below how much I tweaked this pattern to fit it. And actually I've tried it on and I'm really happy with the length of the bomber jacket. It sits exactly where I want it to. So in terms of sewing this up, it is quite oversized, which is what I wanted, because I want to be able to wear the bomber jacket with a jumper underneath and a t-shirt underneath. Because I'm imagining that the bomber jacket is just going to keep me nice and cozy if it's a bit chilly outside. So I do want to be wearing cozy layers underneath the bomber jacket as well. There are 10 pattern pieces to trace off and cut out, and you do need to trace them off because they're all layered on top of each other, but it was a really straightforward process tracing them off. I did find it tricky to work out what size I wanted to trace, because when you look at all the patterns in the book, they give you the finished garment measurement. So I had to go to the front of the book to work out what size I wanted to sew up. And I came up in the smallest size, which is a 34, but I knew I wanted a bit of room. So I actually went up one size just to make sure that I had enough room within the bomber jacket. I probably actually didn't need to do that because it is quite roomy, but not too oversized. It feels exactly how I wanted my bomber jacket to be. So I'm really pleased with how it's sewing up so far. In terms of fabric recommendations for this bomber jacket pattern, they recommend shell fabrics made from polyester, medium denim, heavy linen and faux leather. They're suitable. For the cuffs and waistband, you can choose matching ribbing or go all out with a contrasting colour. And then they recommend that you have a 24-inch open-ended zip. So that's for the longer length bomber jacket. For the cropped one, which is a variation on it here, they recommend a 12-inch open-ended metal zip. So I knew that I wanted it to be just slightly shorter than the original bomber jacket pattern. I didn't want it to be super cropped. So I'm really enjoying the process of sewing it so far. The instructions actually are really detailed for a book. There are lots of pictures to help you along the way. And I felt quite confident tackling it, which is great. Now that I've finally cut into the fabric and I'm just going for it with the pattern, I'm really enjoying the process. So I'm looking forward to updating you with how I get on. But I eventually went for a pattern out of this book, and I'm really enjoying sewing it up so far. And then I've gone for for the cuff, I've gone for the teal cuff, but then I've also got, I'll grab it because I can show you. I've also got this blue sparkly glittery cuffing that I'm not sure whether I should use that for the collar and the hemband, and I've actually got a vote over on my stories at the moment. I'm not going to do this until later on this evening, so I'm going to play around with it, but I'm definitely using the teal cuffing for, or ribbing or whatever it's called, for the sleeves, because I think that goes really nicely. So hopefully very soon I'll be able to share my finished rainbow bomber jacket over on my Instagram page. I'll share it there first, and then I'll share it next weekend in my Sunday sewing catch up too. So that's all of the sewing that I've been getting up to this week, and I'm hopefully going to get my bomber jacket finished, and I can't wait. The next thing I wanted to show you was some fabric that I've got. So Fabric Godmother always share the most gorgeous fabrics in their stories on Instagram, and I'm always tempted. I've resisted so many fabrics, and actually this is where I got this amazing quilting fabric from. But they shared, Josie shared this gorgeous, I think it's a cotton sateen, is that what it's called? Glacé Cherries Stretch Cotton Sateen in pink, and I could not resist it. It was £5.50 per half a metre, and I got 2.5 metres. How fun is that fabric? It's pink, baby pink, and then it's got all these gorgeous cherries all over it. It's a stretch cotton sateen, so it's ever so slightly sort of, it's got a sheen to it. I don't know if you can see that. If I open it up, I'll show you what the stretch is like. Ooh, I haven't pre-washed it yet. There's not a huge amount of stretch to it. There's a little bit of stretch to it. I'm not sure what I'm going to turn it into. I bought it thinking, you'll probably be able to guess where I'm going with this, but I bought it thinking that I could turn it into some amazing Yanta overalls. I think this would make a really fun pair of spring Yanta overalls, but now I'm not too sure. I don't know if it needs to be a dress or some trousers, but I have got 2.5 metres, so it makes me think maybe I should just go for the Yanta overalls. Then I have got quite a few pairs of Yanta overalls. How many pairs is too many? I'm not sure. I just fell in love with that fabric. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. So if anyone's got any suggestions of what I can turn it into, 2.5 metres, it's a cotton stretch sateen, and I just think that print is so fun. So please let me know in the comments below if you've got any ideas. And then the next thing I wanted to talk about was a couple of sewing challenges that are running throughout the month of April. So the first one is run by Adele, who is Sew for Serenity, and Crystal, who is My Social Thread. I'm looking at my notebook so I don't get their Instagram handles incorrect. And they've got a hashtag, which is hashtag selflesssewApril22. And the idea behind it is that we dedicate April to sewing for friends, family, charity, pets, and then post our makes on the 30th of April. You need to make sure that you tag the hosts in your reveal garment or garments, and there are prizes as well. So the hashtag is selflesssewApril22, and the idea is that we sew for other people and then share those makes on the 30th of April. I have got a couple of sewing plans for my girls, Ruby and Lola, so I could definitely take part in the Selfless Sew April challenge over on Instagram. I'll link their Instagram pages down below so you can go and find out more about that challenge that's going on. So the next challenge I wanted to talk about is a challenge that I took part in last year, and it was really fun to take part in, and it was Sew April Blouse. So this year it's Sew April Blouse 22, that's the hashtag, and it's run by Dahlia_Society and Cloth Edit. And I remember taking part last year and I really enjoyed it. And the idea behind it is that we make a blouse using an indie pattern, a big 4 pattern, vintage pattern, free pattern, or you can use a pattern hack. The blouses need to be in woven fabrics, and then we need to use the hashtag SewAprilBlouse22, and then make sure that you tag Gabrielle, who is Cloth_Edit, and then Kirsten, who is Dahlia_Society. You need to post between the 1st of April and the 30th of April. You can enter as many times as you want to, and there are prizes as well. We're encouraged to shop our stash, repurpose, or if you've had your eye on a special fabric, then you can splurge for that special fabric and turn it into a blouse. You can use any pattern you want to, and I'm really looking forward to getting involved in that. I've got quite a few blouse patterns that I absolutely love, including the Bakerloo and the Anna Allen Anthea blouse. It's my all-time favourite blouse. I just love everything about the shape of the neckline, the big poofy sleeves. I love the curved hem, the buttons down the front. So I'm definitely going to be taking part in that one as well. So I just thought to let you know about both of those challenges in case you haven't seen them and you're also interested in taking part. So what else have I got to share with you today? So the next thing I wanted to talk about is a YouTube channel, and I can't remember if I've shared this YouTube channel yet or not. I don't think I have. I did look back at my previous Sunday sewing catch-ups, but it's the lovely Natalie, who is the Seaside Sewist. I'll link her channel down below if you haven't checked her out already. I've been really enjoying watching her videos. She's got a mixture of vlogs over on her channel. She's only got a handful of vlogs at the moment, but there's a mixture of sewing plans. She's just done an unboxing of the First for Fabric spring like box that they put together as well. And it's really interesting to see what comes in all the different, you know, boxes that people share on their YouTube channels. And I hadn't heard of the First for Fabric box, so do go and give her a follow if you haven't followed her already. She's got a mixture of vlogs for you to check out, including her sewing plans and that unboxing vlog that I talked about, and there's some cross stitch as well. And then the final thing to talk about is some sewing plans that I've got. So I am on Easter break, so it means that I've got a couple of weeks at home, although we are going away for a couple of days, which I'm really excited about. So my obvious main plan is getting my quilted bomber jacket finished, which I can't wait for. And then I've been going through my work in progress box because I've got quite a few projects that have just been packaged up that I want to sort of get out and get sewn up. So I haven't got as many work in progress projects as I had because I have been slowly working my way through them. I've also realised that this jacket means that I will have ticked off another of my Make 9, which is really exciting. I think that might be 5 of my Make 9 completed once I do the bomber jacket. So I've got a pack of whips that I'm going to talk to you about now. And they're here. Not too many. I've challenged myself to try and sew up 3 of them. 2 of them I haven't started, but they've been cut out for absolutely ages. And then the other one I have started and then I stopped. And it is the Tilly and the Buttons Nest skirt. And I'm sewing up the mini version. And it's in, again, a rust colour. And I had started sewing it up. So I've got the pockets all ready to go. So it's in this gorgeous rust needle cord. Can't remember where I got this from because I bought it absolutely ages ago. And I think the reason I stopped sewing it was because of the zip fly. I was just a little bit nervous about putting in a zip fly because I cut this out a good couple of years ago. But now I've tackled jeans and I've tackled a button fly and a zip fly. I feel like I've got a bit more confidence now to get this sewn up. So it's all in my little package. So it's all in my little bag here, ready to be sewn up. I think I constructed the back skirt and I sorted out the pockets, so I really do need to just get that sewn up because I think that will add quite a lot to my wardrobe, particularly thinking about some of my blouses and t-shirts that I've got. I think things like this would go really nicely with that needle cord, that lovely rust colour, and I want to be able to wear it a couple of times before the weather gets warmer. So that's the first thing that I want to get sewn up because I'm halfway through that project. And then I've had these cut out for a good couple of years as well. For the same reason, I didn't get round to sewing them up because I was scared about the fit and I was also scared about doing the button fly. But I've tackled both of those now, and I've also tackled fitting trousers. So I feel like I've got a lot more confidence in terms of tackling this pattern. So it's the Lander Pants, Pants and Shorts pattern by True Bias, and I'm going to be sewing up the pants version just in some denim fabric. I think I might have got this denim from Sew Me Sunshine, and this is a gap that I've got in my wardrobe. I did have some ready-to-wear jeans, but they're really old and threadbare now, and they're beyond salvaging. I've salvaged them quite a few times, but I've got massive holes in the knees, and I feel like now is the time to tackle my own pair of jeans. So I'm going to use the True Bias Lander Pants pattern, which I know lots and lots of people have sewn up and they've made beautiful versions. So I'm going to get them sewn up in this gorgeous denim, and I'm really looking forward to challenging myself to get these sewn up as well as the nest skirt. And then the final pattern that I've had cut out, again it's a jeans, kind of jeans pattern. What do they call it? Blakely stretch jeans, and it's a style arc pattern, and they're a skinny jeans. So almost like a jeggings type style. So I'm looking forward to getting those sewn up. I think they are like a jeggings style actually, because the waistband, it's finished with elastic. So I've got this denim, which is like an indigo denim. Has it got stretch to it? I can't remember. Yeah, it has got stretch to it. So it's got this indigo stretch denim. And I've had these cut out for a while as well, and I've talked about this pattern. So I am looking forward to trying this pattern, because I know the instructions, they're not very detailed, the instructions. So I'm looking forward to seeing how I get on with the style arc pattern. Like, those are the instructions. You've got line drawings, but then it's just a couple of sentences to help you sew up the style arc Blakely stretch jeans. So 2 pairs of trousers, a bomber jacket and a skirt, and hopefully they'll add to my wardrobe. I've got loads of blouses and t-shirts and jumpers that I know will go really well with these, and also really well with the skirt and the lander pants as well. So if anyone's sewn up any of those 3 patterns that I'm going to be sewing up, please do let me know how you got on, and if you've got any tips for me. I'm hopeful. I don't think I'll get them sewn in the first week, but maybe in the second week. Hopefully I'll have a couple of pairs of jeans, and I'll have a skirt that I'll have in my wardrobe to go with lots of different things. And then that's all of my sewing plans at the moment. There will be lots of other things that I want to get sewn up as well, but I haven't really sat down to think about what my sewing plans are yet. So that was everything that I wanted to share with you today. I hope you enjoyed seeing what I've been getting up to and hearing of my sewing plans. I will keep you updated on how I get on with all the different things that I want to get sewn up. If you don't follow me over on Instagram, I am at The Baker That Sews, and I often share snippets of what I'm getting up to, and you'll definitely hear over there first if I get this bomber jacket sewn up. Thank you as always for watching this video. If you've enjoyed it, please do give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed, it'd be really great if you could hit that subscribe button. You'll get notified of when I bring out my next video. Thank you as always for watching. Take care, and I'll be back soon. Bye.